What if I told you that everything I thought I knew about wellness and fitness in my 20s was actually holding me back from looking and feeling my absolute best, especially as I approached my 30s? For years, I felt like I was doing everything right. I was working out every day, staying active, eating a really strict and clean diet, but I still wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I did not look the way that I wanted to look, especially with all of the hard work that I was putting in. And I know that so many of you feel the exact same right now. It wasn't until I hit my 30s, along with some changes in the world, the 2020 pandemic, that I realized I needed a completely different approach to see real results and also to make this a sustainable, lifelong approach to health and wellness. What worked in my 20s was not cutting it anymore. I had to shift my nutrition, I had to change my workouts, and I had to start dialing in and focusing on other factors such as sleep, supplements, and mindfulness. So today with you, I'm really excited to share with you everything that I have learned over the years and the exact steps that I have taken to transform my body, keep it that way, and sustain it as I enter my mid-30s and hopefully for a lifetime. If you are struggling with things like stubborn weight gain, maybe energy crashes, and even just not getting results from your workouts and all of the time and effort that you are putting into it, this video is for you, so let's dive into it. Starting with strength and Pilates, this is the workout combo that has changed everything for me. When I was in my 20s, I would run for miles. I thought that running was gonna make me skinny. I thought that running was going to take away my curves. And I thought that I would get that like stick thin model figure if I just ran. Boy, was I wrong. From there, then I transitioned like more mid-20s to functional training, strength training and conditioning, 5, 6, 7 days a week, going to the gym for an hour to an hour and a half, doing heavy lifts, constantly injuring myself, hurting myself. At one point, I got tendonitis in my hip, and that was a whole recovery. I just was putting so much stress on my body, and I was still puffy, inflamed, and you could just see that I was retaining not only water, but just tension throughout my whole body. I wasn't showing up to my workouts every day because I loved it and it made me feel good. I was showing up because I thought I had to, even during specific times in my cycle, more so during my luteal and beginning of my menstrual phase, where I really should have just been resting my body. Trust me, I was at the gym, I was showing up. You probably know that I'm all about consistency, and yes, showing up is amazing, but not in the way that I was. So during 2020, when we were all forced to stay home, I became more familiar with mat-based workouts. I was using weights and props and things that I had at home. I invested in ankle weights, and I was like, oh my God, I am getting leaner, I am getting stronger, I'm not going anywhere, I'm doing this literally all from home. I was also focusing a lot more on mobility, and my workouts every single day were around 30 minutes, and I felt so much more energized, and I was finally seeing the results. So fast forward to today, I have completely abolished my old style and approach to fitness, and I now have Shape, which is my wellness app, and on the platform we focus on 3 days of strength training, 2 days of Pilates, and usually 1 day of mobility. I myself am doing the workouts 4 to 5 times a week. All of the workouts are, of course, done right from home. We do not need to go anywhere. So good. The strength workouts are focusing on building that lean muscle, getting stronger, getting more defined and toned. And the Pilates series are really about going in, lengthening, leaning out. It has completely transformed my core. I am just so much more sculpted, and honestly, the Pilates workouts, which are the tone and flows on Shape, are my favorite. I feel so good after. My nervous system is regulated, and I feel energized and ready to take on the day while also being lean, sculpted, and happy and confident. The mix of the two styles has been a complete game changer. They definitely complement each other, and I am so excited for you to try. Make sure to check out the link for Shape below, and you can start your free trial. Another thing that I changed was my approach to movement outside of my workout. So I never used to place any emphasis on walking. It was never even a thought that crossed my mind. I do, however, very distinctly remember a moment in the summer in Toronto when I was still living there, walking with a friend and being like, I feel like I am a little bit skinnier in the summers because I am walking a lot more and my legs just feel a little bit more lean. And my friend looked at me and was like, yeah, that probably makes sense. We're staying at home a lot more during the winter, not really going outside, being active and walking, and we're burning calories as we walk and we're sweating. So that makes complete and perfect sense. And I was like, okay. I never really thought about it again until I don't know what happened. I think again it was in 2020 where I was just bored and I was in nature for the first half of 2020 and I just started walking. I not only began to see the physical effects, but I began to realize how good it made me feel. The mental effect of going outside, being in nature, getting sunlight, even if it is cold outside. Take advantage of that sunlight when it does come in the winter. And that is when I fell in love with walking. Walking is one of the most underrated and also accessible fat loss tools for women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It keeps cortisol levels low, it helps with digestion, and it also burns so many extra calories in a week, in a day, and in a month. Think about it this way, it takes about 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat. When we walk for 10,000 steps a day, depending on our body weight and other factors, we're burning approximately 400 to 600 extra calories a day. Now multiply that by 7, that is approximately 3,500 calories extra that you are burning, which can contribute to dropping a pound of fat. I would say somewhere between a half a pound and 1 pound if you have that fat to lose. It is so easy, it is enjoyable. You can also make walking social. A lot of the times I'll go for a walk with a friend or I'll call a family member or someone that I just want to catch up with, and it makes the time go by while still also interacting and connecting with people that I love. As mentioned, I aim for about 10,000 steps a day, but start at a realistic number that works for you. Maybe that's 5,000 or 7,000, or you're gonna go right in for 10, which is amazing. The goal is to really fit it into your lifestyle. So maybe it's waking up earlier in the morning to go for a quick walk before work, or breaking up your lunchtime with a walk. I'm starting to see a lot more people are getting a walking pad for their desk. I will link my walking pad below. I love to answer emails, work on my Instagram, and do these types of tasks where typically I would be laying on the couch and instead get up and walk while I'm on my phone working. Walking is one simple habit that makes the biggest difference in body composition and also overall health. What I eat has changed a lot over the years, and the biggest shift I made was prioritizing protein and focusing on blood sugar balance. I used to focus a lot more on low carb. I kind of ignored protein. My concern was just not eating a lot of carbs. And again, I think this is an idea and a notion that a lot of people have when they are trying to lose weight. They think that they need and they want to stay away from carbs. But when I started to shift my focus from low carb to high protein and still incorporating carbs in my meals, that is when I began to not only create and build a healthier relationship with foods, but I began to place less stress on what I was eating. I was getting more full at every single meal because that's what protein does. It makes us satiated and full. And I was also just enjoying my meals. For example, yesterday I had oatmeal for breakfast, but it was a high protein oatmeal. So I added egg whites, I also added chia seeds, and I had a side of turkey bacon, and I also had my collagen latte, which make sure to check out my What I Eat in a Day video here. I show you how to make it. And then for lunch, I had some leftover chicken, quinoa, and broccoli. And for dinner, I had pasta. Yes, in my pasta, I had sauteed vegetables, and we had it with grass-fed beef sausage. There's your protein. But look how many carbs are there. I think that people probably think that I stay away from carbs and I don't eat a lot, but I do. That is not my focus anymore. I've also become a lot more knowledgeable in terms of blood sugar balancing, so the order of your food really does matter. I always try to have veggies first at the beginning of every single meal. Another trick that you can do to help balance your blood sugar is take a little shot of apple cider vinegar or regular vinegar before a meal, and that really helps with digestion and just keeping your hormones and everything in check. Like having a high protein diet, focusing on balancing your blood sugar also helps with cravings, energy sustainability, and helps to keep you full and satiated throughout your day. Instead of restricting foods, which was what I was doing in my 20s, I am now thinking about what can I add to my meal? What order can I eat this in that will help me feel my very best possible while also getting results? Eating should not be stressful, it should be enjoyable. And this mindset shift has helped me stay consistent instead of always feeling like I am on a diet. One of the biggest game changers for my body transformation over 30 actually has nothing to do with diet or exercise. It was learning how to slow down, be present, and begin to calm and ground my nervous system. For so long, I was in a constant state of stress, which most of us, to be honest, are, whether it was from overtraining or undereating or the constant pressure to be on. Maybe it was from living in a place when I was in Toronto that I didn't feel in love with or I didn't feel strongly connected to because I knew it just wasn't my environment. And all of these things together, I know were stopping me from having the body that I dreamed of and love. It was not until my early 30s where I started incorporating small daily habits that really started to feel like I was shedding weight off of my body just from like being able to breathe and take a deep breath without feeling like anxious and stressed all of the time. In the mornings, I started to go outside first thing, get fresh air, get sunlight. That also helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which makes all the difference in mood and energy and hormones. I stopped going on my phone first thing when I wake up, and I do the same thing when I go to bed at night. It's just we don't need that constant like notification and need to like answer emails and answer the DMs and do all the things like from the moment we wake up. We don't need that. And of course, I also started to fall in love with my mindfulness practice, which is why I eventually added it to the Shape platform. I meditate or do breath work, I would say 4 to 5 times a week on the Shape app. We also have EFT and hypnosis series on there, and it is a way for me to just feel so rooted and grounded and present in my day. And I promise you that when you make this shift, when you make this change and prioritize this in your life, all of the pieces will fall into place and you will begin to see the results. I do have another full video on why cortisol could be the reason why you're not losing weight. And I'd really recommend for you to listen to that video in particular if you feel like cortisol and stress is stopping you from feeling like your very best and confident self. My final secret is consistency. One of the biggest things that I have learned throughout the years that results do not come from going in for a few weeks or a few months and then falling off track and then getting back into it again and then, pushing hard before a vacation and then stopping for a few months after, then going back in again when you have summer coming up. It does not work like that. I am the most leanest and strongest and confident that I have ever been because of the years of consistent, sustainable, healthy habits. It is about creating a lifestyle that is actually realistic, that you love and can continue for long term. Find the habits that work for you. Find the diet that works for you. This is why I think that now only in my 30s I feel this way, because I was experimenting in my 20s. I was also just trying to figure it out. There's so much noise and media and Instagram and TikTok telling you to do this, no, do that. This diet works the best. And it's like, no. You need to figure out what works for you, and that is the only way for you to feel good. I stopped chasing quick fixes and I started focusing on those small daily habits, because that's what they are. They're very small and really, in the grand scheme of things, insignificant in our day, but they are the things that make us feel alive. So if you are in your 30s and feel like nothing is working, try to shift your focus. Strength train, get in some Pilates, prioritize recovery and rest, focus on high protein, whole foods, nourishing meals, get in those daily walks, journal or do any acts of mindfulness when you can, socialize, be around people, get that radiant and positive energy from your family, your community, your friends. And all of these things will help you find a routine that you actually do love. That is the real secret for getting in shape and staying that way for life. If this video was helpful for you, let me know in comments what resonated with you the most. And if you're also looking for guidance and help when it comes to workouts, nutrition, mindfulness, all the things, and being supported by a community, make sure to check out my app Shape below. I am there to guide you on this journey with you, and let's do it together. Make sure to check out my latest video here, and I hope you have a beautiful day ahead.